What's going on with the nurses' dispute?
Well, obviously we've made a decision in relation to wages at 3% and 3.5%. We also provided a bonus payment of $3,000 for nurses.
And it's not good enough for them.
Well, I'd make this point, Andrew. I mean, if you go around the country right now, we know that every health system is under pressure. We've gone through a pandemic. There are staff shortages. I announced with Dan Andrews in Victoria this week, both states stepping up to provide urgent care clinics. Now, that's in the Commonwealth's responsibility. But these are issues that need to be tackled. We talk about the Job Summit here today. We have a health system in this country where a state system runs against the federal system. They do not work together. And we're seeing significant increases in emergency presentations right across the country because of a lack of access to GPs. So we're happy to step in and provide financial support to get these clinics up and running. But I think long term, we need to have a fair income discussion about health reform. And if we can't go through a 1 in 100 year pandemic and look at how do we resolve better health systems in this country and financial arrangements associated with it, then we never will.
Have you spoken to the PM about that?
I've constantly spoken about health reform.
Is he into it?
Well, I think the important point from this week was the demonstration from the Victorian Premier, Dan Andrews, and myself, that we're happy to step up and put financial support in here in an area that's in the Commonwealth space. Because we're not coming with our hand out asking for a bucket of cash. We're coming with financial support to get a better system underway. But I'd make the point, Andrew, if you look at the industrial action that's occurring in New South Wales, it's not occurring anywhere else in the country where there's Labor governments, in circumstances where our wages policy leads the nation. So
I was going to ask you about that. There's a belief in your government that it's deliberately targeted to help you lose the election. Do you believe that?
Well, it's not for me to make political assessments. My job is to do what's right for our people. But I do question the fact that we've got at every level, we've had a union that came out at the start of the year and said it's going to be the year of the strike. On wages and conditions, we have the wages policy in New South Wales leads the nation, yet they're not striking in any other state. I think people can make up their own mind.
But if this is sabotage, which you seem to indicate that it could be, politically motivated sabotage, as well as trying to get their members a pay rise, could it lose you the election?
Well, I don't think so. I'm focused on doing what's right for our people, and the decisions I've made, particularly, Andrew, in relation to the rail union more recently, I'm not making political decisions. I'm making decisions that are in the best interest of the people of our state.
Just a couple of quick ones to finish. This no body, no parole thing that Hedley Thomas has been calling for, will you consider it?
Yeah. I mean, currently it's a consideration that is made in relation to parole, but it's not mandatory that it is in other states. I've spoken to the Attorney General to get advice and a briefing on that. But
when do you expect that?
Next week.
Could it be legislated this year if you did it?
Well, I'll get the advice in relation to that. But it certainly makes sense. I mean, if it's not, it wouldn't be a unique approach. It's already the approach that's taken in other jurisdictions. It's currently a consideration that is made in relation to the granting of parole, and it certainly makes sense to me.
And just finally, what's your view of the stage 3 tax cuts? Whether people should get them, whether it creates a better tax system, and what it means for the economy?
Well, I do believe in tax cuts. I believe in higher wages and lower taxes. So they're commitments that have been made, and I think they should be supported going forward.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Andrew.